Hello commanders and welcome to Melliodas Gaming in a new Conflict of Nations video. It has been a while since I uploaded for Conflict of Nations and today with a new Banga video. Like the last poll I posted on the community section of our YouTube channel, I asked you guys what kind of tutorial you wanna see, and most of you has wanted to know what are the top 5 nations to play with in the recent updates in the game. Well, a lot has changed recently. We are going to speak about the nerfed resources production. It's not like before. The resources production has been nerfed heavily in Conflict of Nations. Furthermore, the number of cities that each nation had. A lot of cities has been reduced by a mean of 1 city per nation. Like for example, United States of America used to have 11 cities and 10 cities before, and now it's only 9. For example, let's speak about Algeria. It had before 7 cities, now it's only 6. Egypt, yes, it had 7 cities and now only 6. Philippines had before 6 cities and now it's only 5 cities. The same goes to Norway, etc. The game has changed a lot, that our top 5 ranking is going to be based on new things. It's going to be based on new criteria. Just a small reminder on how we did the last top 10 nations in Conflict of Nations. As the islands, we preferred the islands because they weren't surrounded by a lot of nations all around it. We preferred like northern or southern nations that doesn't have a lot of neighbors and they have only one pattern to go and start the expansion. We did not prefer nations that are surrounded by a lot of other players, that presents a lot of dangers all around, but now things has changed drastically. Another thing which is very important, the nerfed Air Force. Yeah, you know about the recent update that Air Force has been nerfed. The flying range of air superiority fighters, strike fighters, and also the elite attack aircrafts has been reduced. So the attack range is not as big as before, it's not as wide as before. So now if we are going to choose a huge nation, maybe the flying range of our Air Force is not going to be useful. That is why we are going to change the criteria of our ranking. Okay, so today we are going to start by the 5th nation, and we are going to of course give you all the arguments why we chose this nation and that nation as well. Okay, in top 5 here we are going to go straight to the Chinese Empire, where you are going to tell me, well, China must be the first one. Like China is one of the biggest nations with 9 homeland cities. China is a huge, big, good resource production. Why it is only the 5th? Well, there are a lot of reasons for that. First reason is that China is going to take ages for you to assemble your troops and to choose one destiny. Of course, we need to mention that China is surrounded by a lot of nations, but the bad thing here that you are going to take a lot of time in order to get to your enemies. For example, let's see only this AI nation, which is the Uyghur. For you to finish all of this region, you are going to lose 1 game day. Let's not talk about Mongolia, because finishing Mongolia is going to take ages and ages because of these mountains. So the fast expansion early game is not going to be favored with China. Also, we gotta mention that we are surrounded by a lot of enemies. Vietnam, Myanmar, India, Mongolia, Russia, North Korea, etc, etc. But that is not the problem here. My problem with China is that it is so big, so wide, and with a lot of mountains. Well, it made it to our top 5. Why? Because if we choose to play defensive, we have decent resources production in order to build a good thing early game. That is undeniable, because we have 2 component cities, 2 supply cities, 2 electronic cities, and even 2 fuel cities, and 1 rare material city. That is going to give us 9 cities for China. And yup, congratulations for the Chinese Empire in making it to our top 5 nations. In the fourth position, are we going to say in the Pacific Ocean? Maybe Africa? Or maybe Europe? Well, yeah, this is not going to be expected, guys, but yeah, after a lot of studies, after a lot of trials, I'm going to give it finally for Serbia. Serbia, for the first time, making it to our top 5 nations in Conflict of Nations. Well, here, choosing Serbia is strategic, but it needs one thing. It needs activity. If you are an active player, choose Serbia. That is going to be a very, very decent choice. First of all, look at this place. It's crowded of cities, crowded of resources, and for an Air Force build early game, this is golden. Like, everything is going to be within the flying range of your air superiority fighters or strike fighters, or even your elite attack aircrafts if you have them. Everything is going to be within your flying range, and your air force is going to be 100% effective. Also, we have dozens of AI nations. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Imagine you have a nation that is surrounded by 9 AI nations. 9 AI nations. The only neighboring player with a playable nation is going to be Romania. So if you are in good terms with Romania, you are golden. You can expand all around this area with AI nations. You are going to boost your resources production, and Serbia is going to be golden. You have one coastal city, which is the only inconvenience here, because I am a naval player and I always prefer coastal cities, but it's not a bad thing to go for a second one and annex another coastal city. Serbia has made it to our top 4 because of its strategic place in the center of Europe and also the fast expansion potential. Like I said, you have to be active in order to get these lands as fast as possible. If you had the good expansion strategy and your resources production is going to be well boosted early game, believe me, you are going to have a game of dreams. You are going to have a historical campaign creating the Serbian kingdom. Okay, now let's move to the third nation. Well, the third nation, I'm going to definitely give it to the Ottoman Empire. Well, we just finished the Ottoman Empire series, guys, and you see how strong this nation is and how strategic this place is, with 3 or 4 coastal cities. The capital is in the middle, Ankara, which is very important thing here, having your capital in the middle. You remember in the Ottoman Empire how the Asian coalition tried so hard to get to my capital, Ankara, but it was a fortress. They couldn't even make it. Ankara is surrounded by 2 seas, the Black Sea and the Mediterranean Sea, and we have Greece, a playable nation as a neighbor. We have Syria, Iran, and also we have Iraq. Well, we do not have to worry about Iran because most of the time Iran is not going to focus on Turkey. Like, it's so rare that Iran goes for Turkey as an early target. He mainly goes for these AI nations or Afghanistan or Iraq. But always the first fight between Turkey is always with Syria. The good thing here that Turkey has made it to our top 3 best nation is that this region is crowded by cities and also it is desert and open lands, crossing all over. Syria is not going to be a huge deal and it's not going to take a lot of time. The expansion potential of Ankara, of Turkey of course, is going to be huge, as you can finish Turkey and all of this region in only 5 game days. That is doable and possible by 2 strategies. The first strategy, if you are going to make strike fighters early game, you will be able to damage your enemy very fast and go straight to their homeland cities, or I have another good early game strategy, and it has been proven especially effective: making recon vehicles early game. So as soon as you get in the game, make a wave of recon vehicles. Only recon vehicles, 6 recon vehicles. You assemble them with the 2 starting recon vehicles you will be having 8, and you give them 1 infantry officer and 1 motorized infantry. Like that, you will have a stack of 8 recon vehicles, 1 infantry officer and 1 motorized infantry. And what you are going to do is cross all over Syria early game. That is not going to take you more than 3 days to finish off all of Syria. Well, that's the reality, guys. I tried it and I'm happy to show it to you in another video. Well, congrats for the Ottoman Empire for making it to our top 3 nations in Conflict of Nations World War III. We are not going to go so far, actually, to go to our second nation, which is going to be given undoubtedly for Iran. Iran in this region is the only nation that has 7 homeland cities. Well, 7 homeland cities in a very crowded region of AI nations and playable nations is not a bad thing, especially that we are going to have the best economy in all of our surroundings, and also we have great expansion potential. The expansion potential is, of course, we need to be smart about this, because we are going to have 2 fronts: an Afghan front and an Iraqi front. We cannot open 2 fronts at the same time, but we can be smart. First of all, we can fortify this city of Birjan, because if Afghanistan is going to think about attacking Iran, the first city is going to cross over is Birjan. So what we need to do is place 6, 7 or even 10 motorized infantry in this city and keep them there. We will need to build an underground bunker here to boost our defensive abilities in this city and focus all of our rest of manpower and the first wave of recon vehicles or motorized infantry on the Iraqi front. Like that, we will have our back secured and our front well fortified for an expansion and for an invasion. If this went successful, what we need to do here is, of course, level up our arms industries, build some strike fighters in our capital. Of course, the air support is always important in order to have more tactical options. A level 2 naval base in Bad Narabes is also a great idea for us to secure the Persian Gulf, especially that the corvettes finally that has been boosted. Finally, we can have an attack range of 100 for corvettes. And their speed also has been significantly boosted, that now our corvettes, they are up in shallow waters. They are very fast in shallow waters. So the hit and run technique in shallow waters is going to be extremely effective with corvettes. Well, the damage is not that much compared to destroyers or cruisers, but for early game, corvettes, they can be extremely useful. So the Persian Empire or the Persian nation has made it to our second top 5 ranking of the best 5 nations to start with in Conflict of Nations World War III in the recent version after the recent updates. Now we are going for the top 1, the first one. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Brazil? Brazil has 8 cities. But no, I'm not a fan of Brazil actually. Maybe South Africa. 5 cities, not that much. Well, this time it needs to be given for Germany. Yes, Germany with 7 homeland cities. Well, now it's going to be about math. It's going to be about mathematics, and you need to focus here about what I am going to say, because Germany is a great nation in Conflict of Nations. It's strong and heavily fortified with resources. But the bad thing, and what the most common players do as a mistake, is opening two fronts at the same time, or opening a front and leaving your back unprotected. Especially here, that Austria can do a surprising attack and take Munich from you. France also can do a surprising attack and take Frankfurt from you. And Poland is meters away from our capital, Berlin. So here, what we are going to do with Germany. What I would do with Germany is making 2 waves of recon vehicles early game and stay in 3 cities. I will stay in Frankfurt, put a recon division, heavy recon division in Frankfurt, heavy recon division in Munich, and heavy recon division in Berlin. 3 gateways from 3 fronts, from 3 nations that are going to be closed. And I'm going to wait until I make strike fighters in my capital, Berlin. I'm not going to attack anyone. I'm going to just stay watching it. Here, when we give the top 5 ranking, it's for solo. Don't forget about that, guys. This ranking is for solo campaigns. If you are going to be in a coalition and playing with Germany, brother, you have a great chance to win this game. If you are going to ally with Poland, Sweden, United Kingdom, France and Italy, you are well fortified and defended, and no, we are speaking about solo here. So I'm going to wait, and 100% Poland or France or even Austria is going to think about attacking us. That is going to be their first mistake, attacking our cities. They are going to lose so many units here because we are going to be having 8 or 9 or 10 motorized infantries in city with the defensive boost of cities. They are going to have tough time there. As soon as they lose most of their troops in that trap, we will launch the counterattack. We will launch the counterattack by sending that stack. Of course, we will send it reinforcement, heal it, and send a full stack of 10. Don't forget, guys, in defense, use motorized infantries. But when we are going to shift for offense, mix that division with recons, because recons, they are going to help us in the attack boost, okay? And we shall use that recon division, crossing all over those cities, breaking all of his cities, all of his resources production, all of his units production, and later on we will be cleaning the rest, and we take our time for that. But first, kill your enemy, don't give him a chance to rebuild, and later clean the mess. If those cities, they are going to turn to rogue state, etc., you will be having time to clean that mess. So this is how we are going to start our game with Germany. Guys, I have to admit that the game has become so much harder than before, especially when playing as solo, because the resources production has been reduced. The game has been heavily nerfed, not like before, as it is. I feel that the pace of the game has become more and more slowly. It's very slow. Like, we cannot expand like before so fast and eat half of a continent in 20 game days, etc. Now it's going more for the defensive, you understand? So I'm giving you like these hints, these tips in order to start a solo campaign efficiently. How to create a big empire like we did with the Ottoman Empire. And of course, we will be trying more and more nations in the upcoming days in solo campaigns and with more surprises. Well, as a recap, let me tell you the top 5 cities that we spoke about. In 5th position, we have China, 4th, Serbia, 3rd, Turkey, 2nd, Iran, and the first one is Germany. Thank you guys for watching this video. In the comment section, do not forget to give me your feedback. Do you agree that our top 5 is your top 5? If you have another ranking, please give me in the comment section and I shall happily rate your best nations on a scale of 10, of course. Thank you guys for watching and bye-bye.